Hello and welcome back to another video on Fresh Perspective. In today's video we're going to talk about neuroticism and what it is like to be highly neurotic or low neurotic or lower in neuroticism, should I say. So what it means to be high or low in this. So neuroticism is basically how sensitive you are to negative emotional triggers, or how prone you are to negative emotions like anger or sadness, or how long your brain can dwell on those sort of feelings. I'll give you an example of a situation. This a drunk guy comes on the bus, starts behaving irrationally. Someone who's highly neurotic would be, their brain would focus on that a lot more even after the situation. Their mood might be affected by it. Someone who is low in neuroticism, they're more likely to not be as bothered or as impacted by that. Their brain might be able to look past it and not think about it too much after the situation. Whereas, as I said, someone who's higher in neuroticism, their brain would more likely to focus on that and the feelings and the emotions they have on that, after that situation has occurred, sort of thing. Someone who's highly neurotic as well would probably be more likely to develop more symptoms of anxiety or depression or that sort of thing, because their brain tends to focus more on the negative side a little bit more. If someone is low in neuroticism, they might think positively a lot of the time, but when a negative situation comes up, they might not know how to process that as well, because they don't really know how to deal with the negative emotions when they do come up, sort of thing. So it's all about finding the balance, trying to focus more on the negative and the positive. Now, someone who's low in neuroticism might still be prone to anxiety, but just in different ways or to a lesser scale. So yeah, it's a little bit nuanced as well, but it's something that isn't really covered in the MBTI personality, but it does show up in other personality metrics, like the Big Five, for example. Now you could say, yeah, neuroticism is also a survival instinct as well. Back in the day, we'd have to be aware of our surroundings and with hunting and stuff like that. So it's passed on through ancestors and stuff as well. Yeah, we'd have to be more aware of our environment, to consider the negatives and what to look out for, basically predators, stuff like that. So as I said, it's passed on through ancestors as well. It's kind of why we still have this. But yeah, it just shows up in completely different situations now. In modern life it's a bit different, isn't it? So yeah, if you're highly neurotic, then yeah, you will tend to be focusing more on the negatives, or I'm not saying you can't think positively, because you can. Your brain might focus on the negatives first and then the positives, rather than the positives and then the negatives. I guess someone in lower in neuroticism would think about the positives first and then maybe think of the negatives, maybe. So yeah, if you're highly neurotic, then it's good to actively bring more positivity into your life. Even another little example, someone who's really high in neuroticism as well would sometimes maybe pick up on little social cues or something, little cues that someone in low neuroticism might not pick up. So you have a conversation with someone, bangs their glass on the table or something, something little like that. Someone in high neuroticism might actually think about that a bit more and think, oh, have I caused them to be in a different mood, or have I said something where that's are they feeling angry, or you know what I mean? If someone bangs their glass on the table, it indicates a certain feeling that they might be having. So yes, someone who is higher might focus on that a little bit more. If you're higher in neuroticism, I'd say a couple of things that would help. Try and retrace your negative thought patterns a little bit. So you have a thought, and then you have another thought, then you have another thought. Try and work backwards. So okay, what started this thought loop? What started this thought pattern? And then if you get to the starting point, then you can be and you can reframe that, so you can maybe think, okay, what positives can I take from this situation that might be more negative. Another thing is if you are prone to negative thought patterns, another way to help that is just getting out in nature, increasing your physical activity, going to the gym, moving your body, getting active. Even just a walk in nature can really just boost your mood, because if you're highly neurotic, you are more prone to mood swings and stuff. So if you just experience more, it helps boost the happy chemicals in your brain. Because if you think of depression and anxiety as more of a chemical imbalance, then if you're highly neurotic, you might need to do more to rebalance those chemicals in your brain. Highly neurotic, you're more prone to like feelings of anxiety, depression, mood swings, sensitive triggers, like any negative situation that's happening like around you can affect your mood more. Maybe even like self-criticism, for example, as well. More likely to be criticising yourself for like not doing this or not doing that. Can become a little bit of a loop, a little bit of a cycle. So if you start just implementing a couple of good things that will help you in your life, that will be a good starting point. Obviously, you know, you can't. It's a personality thing. It's a personality trait, so you can't exactly make your neuroticism go from high to really low. But it's just about managing it and just keeping it a good baseline, keeping it a healthy level, so to speak. Just another quick diagram I thought to add in as well, because I didn't do that initially. But you can kind of think of it as like a scale like this. So yeah, high up here, that kind of thing, and then more lower in neuroticism, more like stable moods, self-confidence, maybe more assertive in or assured in yourself. It was easier to be assertive, and then maybe positive thinking first, and then maybe a negative after, or just positive. And yeah, but it's kind of just a representation like this, just like a scale. However, remember, it's not a fixed thing. If you're highly neurotic, you can work to be more assured and assertive. But it means you are just more prone to these sort of things, basically. But yeah, you can always do a little bit of self-work to try and help with some of these things. Or even if you are lower in neuroticism, that's a little bit more tricky because you don't want to spiral into more negative thinking. But I think it's also quite healthy to try and have that balance, or at least more positive, but you'll be a bit more ready, and you'll be, if negative feelings or emotions or a negative situation does come up. Even people lower in neuroticism can still obviously feel some of the things, or prone to some of the things that, you know, might feel like that are more prone to highly neurotic people. So yeah, it's just all about trying to find that the balance. So that was a quick video on neuroticism, just a few little things here and there, maybe giving you a bit more of a bigger picture of it. If you want me to go over into more detail, I will. I think with this channel, if I'm starting off with new topics to talk about, I think I'll start off with like a more broader video, and then I'll see how that goes. I'll do further videos going into further detail if it's needed, or if it's people are interested. Like with the cognitive functions, for example, that'll start off with quite broad, but I think I will go over that in more detail in a future video, more the relations between the different types and their cognitive functions. And maybe I said in the last video as well how I wouldn't go over the other cognitive functions that I don't have, but I think I probably will at some point. You know, it's all about just finding a better way to explain them. And so yeah, I think that's what I'll do. If I go over new topics, I'll start off with like a more broader video, just giving you a bit more of a bigger picture and what it means, or a couple of things that you could do, for example, then yeah, I'll go into further detail if you want that. And because I want to try and keep these videos somewhat short as well. I don't want to be doing half-an-hour videos, unless obviously the topic needs it, but I do want to try and keep them a little bit more concise if I can. Hopefully you have enjoyed and took something away from this, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video very soon, in a bit.